What's up? This is HDNEWS Tech here. This video is going to be about the vest I got for Christmas, of course, that I wear this past Monday, a week ago almost, when we had a snowstorm. And it's alright to wear it in the snow, as long as you have a couple layers on, it worked fine. Not in rain, but the highest setting I have it on right now is the first thing when you turn it on. It's high, it lasts about 2 hours. Next level down is white, which is medium, which is 6 hours, and blue, which is low, which is 10 hours. And I just turn it off when I don't need it. And it's powered by a USB battery. And with those 3 layers on, it basically kept me warm throughout the day. And I just put one of these as the first layer. Of course, the vest has to be over your shirt first, not your skin. And if I put this over it, the first layer over the vest, and then I put one of these, which is recommended. Keeps a lot of the heat in. It's wool, they're both wool, keeps you warm. And then this, which is what I got when I first worked at the store, and it's outside of the cart guy, and it's so faded I can't tell what the size or anything is. But it's one of those warm things, keeps you warm outside, probably on the side for like your tech or something like a tablet, or not a tablet, but like MP3 player or something, or a wallet or money or anything like that. And believe it or not, when I started around 7 o'clock in the morning, and I turned it off by 11 because I went over to get Subway because I just got, or wherever I was, I wanted to use one of my gift cards, the money I left over. Had enough money, of course, but this is the battery that it comes with, and it takes a while to charge. It's USB-C. They recommend only using their charger or, their cables, of course. And I think it's fine to use, like a Walmart USB-C cable if you use this cable that comes with it. And it's too small just to plug in somewhere and then have it somewhere in the house, it's the same type of cable, basically, and worked fine. These are apparently $80, and I think I sent her a text, and she actually bought one of these extra ones, which should come with an extra charger and a cable. And it's USB-C as well, it's the same thing. 5,270 milliamps and 7.4 volts outside, for the DC output where it goes to the vest to keep you warm. And it's got a USB charger cable you can plug in a phone or something. I wouldn't recommend it as your own personal battery to carry with you as your only one, because if you use this too much, you have less time on this vest, which is wired, which means where it gets most of the heat is the wires with the electrical DC voltage. And that's how they work, basically. And as I understand, if the battery goes dead, well, guess what? You lose your heat. And these take a while to warm up. I think the battery kit, for each one, you need to get a new one. I think every time you get a vest, like a new vest like this or a new battery, you gotta charge it the first time. And it's $80, so a little pricey. But I'll just unplug it. I'd use it for next time. I used it the other day, yesterday, early in the morning, and it worked fine. I had it turn on heat once I left the building, and on the high setting, of course, and it was pretty warm with a couple layers on top. But I can't run that all time on high because it drains the battery a lot quicker. And it does have pockets for things, and it's a little heavy, maybe a couple pounds or more, but it's mostly wires and a little bit of it. It's one of those fleece vests that's nice. That's on Walmart, and it's also on Amazon as well, and as well as their website, which I had the thing for, and I tried to search for it, and apparently it was only on their website, apparently. So yeah, that's nice. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and like below. This is one of the shirts I got for Christmas as well, for the Duke Coin Unions from my own high school that I never got to play because of certain reasons with health. And even if I would play, my risk of getting hurt would be a lot higher because of the mutation. And I was always the water boy, always going out and helping the boys with water. Problem is, we had a family history of hemophilia, and I would like to play football. I wouldn't at least good if I didn't have all this autism and this other mental disorders, but I would be a pretty strong person to take down, because I'm made strong, and trust me, when I mean it, I mean it. And it's a family trait, and there are at least 2 grandfathers of mine who are really bulky. in the past, and I got a lot of their genetics. So I may not have played football, but you know, I was still with the boys, getting out the water and all that. Well, in the cold, of course, in November, of course, in November these times of year it doesn't feel as cold as it used to be in 2008 when I was on the football field up in Champaign with the boys, because I guess they wouldn't let them on the field with us and all the other managers, and I had to get one of the staff members my mom knows and I knew for a while to talk them in. You know, I'm a nice person. I'm very nice, and that worked enough to talk them into, and it worked to get us up to Champaign, up Orono, up north, to get us all on the field. And I am on that video somewhere. I just don't know where. It's on YouTube now, and that's the last time I was up in the state, barely enough for football. And probably my last time, because we never got close to it after that. We got maybe a couple of games, but then after that, like, just couldn't make it to the state final. And that was a good 5-hour, 6-hour drive. And I did have the flu a few days prior to that. So my stomach wasn't really handling the pizza and the soda that well. But back then I wasn't having to watch my carbs. I was well within carb range, and I didn't have like I have now. But I think it was Pizza Hut, I believe they had it up in Champaign. So it's several hours up north, and they had a nice field. It might have been on Thanksgiving, I cannot remember, but it was cold. During the games I went as a junior, of course my grandfather passed away like months prior in like May because of a pretty strong version of lung cancer that ended up killing him with some other heart disease. But it's a year to remember him, as well as him liking football and me liking it. Even if I didn't get to play, it was still worth the experience to be on that field, even if we lost by a few points because one of our buddies didn't catch the ball correctly, and we ended up losing to United Way West up north. And that was 2008 in like November late, and they did have it on TV, and I was mixing a concoction of Gatorade, which was green Gatorade, and the guy who proposed, one of the senior football managers, for the Water Boys to watch after us, our younger kids, to train us what to do. He ended up passing away from COVID last year in December, and it was his concoction of mixing like a blue and yellow Gatorade to make blue for, I can make a green for Lucky, and this for Irish. And it did pull off. I wish it did, but it did help at times. And maybe we had some good luck. That class was really tough and really wanted to play. And we kept beating every team. Quite literally, we went up north. We had like pizza, and then we went up there. And I remember having steak on Saturday mornings, and then McDonald's, and that's what I liked a lot during those years because we got free food. We were fed. We had orange juice, of course. I always ate a lot back then. I was still pretty heavy, but not as much as I was in my working career. But still, I would like to do that, but the complications with the hemophilia, and then the trust basically wasn't there, and the money wasn't there, and it just wasn't worth taking the risk to get injured. Just to be playing. I know I probably could have played a little bit, but with the mental disability of autism, and then it would not went good. And there's a lot of injuries over the years past that was like, hey, I'm glad I didn't do it, and I'm glad I didn't play football, because you're likely to get hurt and permanently paralyzed. And I've seen a couple of those people up north that we played, and our boys weren't really the best on getting the ball. They weren't really the most gentle to the other players, the better team, and there were times where people really got hurt, and it just be thankful that I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to be strapped to a wheelchair for the rest of my life, and that probably could have been me, but there are more positives than life in Christ and than anything, and you can't worry about your past. You just gotta let it go. Even with COVID, even if it happened 2 years ago, you gotta let it go, because you're not letting your destiny go forward. And that's what I've been focusing on, is moving it forward, forgetting about COVID. Like, why would I want to remember COVID? Because no one once they remember it, but you know, there's nothing to worry about. And hopefully people start getting, you know, things they want. And so yeah, I know they're building a factory somewhere, I guess near a couple states away from us, that's building light chips for the GM and Ford. The car prices are outrageous right now because they're like 100,000 or more, 200,000 for like a truck, because they don't have the chips. A lot of them are on the parking lots without chips because of the shortage, because of the COVID outbreak a few years ago, almost be 2 years in March this year for like COVID existing, and so many versions of it. And hopefully components will be cheaper and more available in higher quantities, because I couldn't get a computer at a reasonable price. I ended up having to get a refurbished unit, which I wish I didn't buy, because we didn't buy, of course. I guess you're not guaranteed a computer to last, and it's just a fixed version, a cheaper version, but outdated hardware. Even hearing about Windows 11 being so awful, I can't even update to it, honestly. I tell you guys, my PC doesn't even support Windows 11. Neither will I ever run it at the current stage, because the PC absolutely cannot handle, I guess, the processor, and the specs are just too old. And if you like this kind of, make sure to comment, like below. Thanks for watching. See ya.